So let's start on the next one. Tejo. What do you think is Tejo other than the 10? That 10 remains the same, so don't have to be going back and forth.
Warm and cozy. This is Putujana,
Yes, Pujana. Warm and comfy. Yes, that's correct. It's warm and comfy.
It is heat, Guruji. Heat.
No, that heat is there anyway. So, but what do you see when you feel the warmth? I mean, basically,
Yes.
basically the uh, Tejo will give you the warmth. Without warmth, you can't again survive much. So you require, like now it's cold season. So you want to make it warm.
Mm.
It's not. It's nothing to do with heat. You would like to have warmth, and also when people are around you, you feel warmth again. So this basically gives you the warmth. Yeah, Shruti is going to give fear. So later we are going to come to that. It's just like Apo, there's a fear of getting burnt.
Purifying, cleaning.
Mm,
No,
will you put fire on yourself to clean then?
not me.
No, for anybody, they can't.
Do you associate friendliness? Friendliness? Because people say, when you're warm, you're friendly, and when you're someone's cold, they're not friendly. I don't know.
Right, it's just a way of saying, but warmth covers everything. You feel loud, you feel friendly, you feel touched, you feel what I can say, guarded. All of that is part of being warm.
Survival, food. You need heat to cook.
No, actually, next one is that only. It's called ojas. Warm, the fire or the heat gives ojas. Actually, the upadaya rupa of Tejo is ojas. So the nutrients can only come if there is heat. There can't be anything as a nutrient if there's no heat. So one is that you have warmth, and the second one is ojas.
So is oja a nutrient?
Yes, oja in English, the nearest word you can give is nutrient, but actually it is vitality. But then you can't really explain what is vitality, so it's better to say nutrients. And all nutrients can only happen if there is enough heat. So the plants cannot grow without sun, as an example. And the soil cannot be fertile without sun. So something that can heat up or warm it will help. Like, the mother, like, in the case of hen or chicken, then the eggs are warmed. So all beings warm their young ones. So there is nutrients. What else? So we
It is
covered
energy.
two.
Energy.
Yes.
It is energy.
Yes, that's a great one. Yes, that's the right one. Yes. So ojas has energy base. Not only has nutrient, it gives rise to energy. So through sun or through this light, only you can have energy. Otherwise, there's no energy. So if it's very damp out there, you don't feel energized. You don't feel excited to work. You don't feel motivated. You don't feel happy. So basically, you require energy. No, Shruti, the primary life giving is water. You can survive without sun. If people can stay in Alaska, they can stay in South Pole, they can stay in a place in Norway which never has a sun. So if what you're saying, Shruti, is true, then all of those people would have perished as soon as there is darkness. You can create artificial light. So that's not an answer. That's not right.
But in a certain limit, it is required. Like in ICU, the fetus they or the newborn baby they require the warmth. They are kept in that
No, that is
glass.
incubator. No, I'm
Uh,
I'm not saying that the it doesn't give warmth. You're saying life giver. It's not life giver at all. You can create artificial light, and you just like incubator, you can create it artificially. So then, I were talking from nature standpoint. What does water do? If you don't have water, you will die. That's the only thing that can happen to you. Without sun, you can survive. So in that way,
okay.
I'm talking about. You can create artificial. You can't create artificial water. Have you heard anybody creating artificial water?
But in human body also, a certain temperature is required, sir.
Shruti, that is already there. Even water is already there. You are not able to understand what does water do or a heat do to you. It gives you all of that we covered of 10. Other than that, there is energy that's not there in water. It doesn't provide you with energy. You don't feel excited with water. You feel satiated. You feel satisfied that you had water, right? And then for the plants to grow, not only the water is required, there is also sun is required. Only you put water, it will not work because the photosynthesis has to happen. For that, it requires sunlight. In the same way, this body also cannot grow if there is no warmth, which is right. But it's not a life giver, is what I'm trying to tell you. You're putting there life giver, and the answer is no. It assists in life, but it's not like water. Nobody can survive without water. Try it out and see for yourself. Don't drink water for 3 months and you will become a photograph. You're dead. You can stay without food, but you can't stay without water. So that's the reason it's always called life giver. Let's take a desert. It's harsh sun, 40, 45, 50 degrees centigrade, but then you're searching for water. There's sun. So then you should be living without any problem. You can't. And sunburn. There's nothing called water burn. There's sunburn. So like that, we need to see Shruti. Yes, warmth is there. I'm not rejecting. I'm saying warmth, ojas is there, and energy is there. These are the three things which are there in Tejo. That's perfectly right. This is required, but it's not a life giver. I just want to clarify that. Yes, you
Sir,
have. Yes, Rupa, go ahead.
sir, in Ayurveda they say that Agni Tattva helps for the digestion.
I'm not rejecting. I don't know where this
Huh.
confusion is happening. It's not a
Uh-huh.
life giver.
No, digestion, sir. I mean, they say that the food digests
That is
because of this
correct.
tattva.
No. What that includes in the ojas itself. If you're referring Ayurveda, then ojas is part of everything. All the seven
Okay.
dhatus.
Okay. Okay. Sir.
See, the starts with rasa dhatu, rakta dhatu, all of that. If you take it in that way, there is jataragni. That is,
Yes, Jataragni.
it has to aid in digestion. If you don't have thing, then you will not. There's nothing called digestion, right?
Okay. Okay.
That's required. Very much required.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, Arif.
Yeah, I think drying things up.
What things up?
Drying, make them dry.
Dry. Okay. It dries your clothes, you mean to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even ice, if a lack of heat also kind of make it kind of dry, I guess.
Okay. But those are the uses of heat. I'm asking you what is there in heat or in Tejo, like, something without which you feel something is missing, like energy is missing if you don't have enough heat. So, what you do? You're losing heat. So, what the person does, he wears warm clothes, right? That's a simple way of looking at it. Because if you start losing heat, you can't survive. So, what do? You have a jacket, you have warm clothing. For that reason only, you're having warm clothing, not because of anything else. Because you shouldn't be losing heat. Correct? If I lose heat, it's a problem. In the same way, so one is warmth. So you feel comfortable with a person if there is heat. Okay. And there is, like what Ravindra said, energy is required for energy. That's also true. Yes.
Is lighting related to heat?
No, you can use heat for lighting. That's what I'm telling. When she said life giver, you can create artificial life, artificial lights, so that your life will continue. That's not the right way of seeing. I'm just saying, like those 10 things, what we brought out from the sutta, there are 5 things, and we have gone through 3 things. Can you guess the other 2 things?
I could be wrong, but how about like anger? You know, when somebody's angry, heated up.
Yeah, that's right. Emotions. Yes, that's correct. Emotions. That's right. Okay, what else? All emotions have heat primarily. If you're crying, you have heat. If you're feeling excited, you have heat. So they say burning with desire, right? Have you heard about it? Oh, he's burning with desire because it literally burns. What else? Emotions are part of it. So in Pali, it's bhavana, and also in Sanskrit, bhavana means you have an emotion. Bhavana also means meditation. And for meditation, also, you require heat. Got the point? You can't meditate without being in warmth. One of the primary thing is that you require that kind of heat to meditate, because you are literally focusing, concentrating to begin with. So for that, it gets heated up. What else? So we did 4 of them.
Moment,
Pardon?
moment,
Moment means
motion or movement.
movement. Okay, okay. No, movement is part of Vayu. Last one. Haji Kalpana ji. Yes, Kalpana, go ahead.
Sir, instant energy is released from emotions.
No, it's part of energy. That's it. Over. So emotions is part of heat. So we don't have to explain how it gets released and all that. That's not required.
It burns itself and surrounding also.
That's okay. That we have already covered. There's nothing more to talk about that, Kalpana. It
Okay,
burns.
sir. I am joined now.
I got it, but it burns. And then that is known, right? It's It's something that you don't have to guess. But what's the benefit of Tejo Dhatu is what I'm asking. What does the Tejo Dhatu include? Apart from the stability, availability, all of that we have spoken, those 10 things, what else are extra? There are 5 of them which are extra than those 10. Like we had 3 of them in Apo. Like that, there are 5 of them in Tejo.
Does heat also make you a bit more relaxed? Like people always go onto a warm place for a holiday or go to a sauna to relax. You know, your muscles relax in heat. I
No,
don't know.
no, mate. It's like this. See, you feel cold because the energy is going out. So you require heat. So when you are in a cold place, you would generally would like to have heat. So you go to a sunny place so that you feel excited because you feel energized. In cold places, you don't feel energized much. So you feel not that comfortable. So you're going there. And we're not asking why you're going there. You're anyway going there. So then the question, I'm not asking a question. I'm just saying, what other things do you find in Tejo? I'm not asking you why. And then you can say, yeah, because it's cold, so I go to a beach or some other place. Nourishment, we already covered it as part of Ojas Shreyas.
Is it fusion during fertilization?
No, it's all part of it, right? See, that is part of how body takes care in terms of nutrition. The Ojas takes care of all of that, what you're saying. So what Buddha did is to make it as Patvi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Varna, Rasa, Gandha, Oja. So in the Tejo Dhatu, you have Ojas. Okay, it gives the energy. So for maturation of the body, also Ojas is there. So if somebody were to look at Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta, he gives explanation on what is Tejo Dhatu. Okay. Or in even in Maharahulavada Sutta, you will find that same explanation on Tejo Dhatu. We generally go through the Patvi Dhatu, Apo Dhatu, but we don't really invest much on Tejo Dhatu, Vayu Dhatu, Akash Dhatu. I think that's the mistake we do, is what I think so. Because it's already there. Yes, Harry.
Yeah, I think Shruti has put destroyer, but I thought that destruction is one of the thing fire can do. What's wrong with that?
Patvi can also destroy, Apo can destroy, Tejo can destroy, Vayu can destroy. All the 4 will destroy. It's nothing specific to Tejo Dhatu. How does earth destroy? Earthquake. How does the water destroy? Floods. How does Tejo destroy? Burning. How does the Vayu destroy? Tornadoes. That's it. In fact, there's a sutta where Buddha says all these 4 are like serpents, very poisonous one. Asi Visupama Sutta. Have you gone through that? Just go through it. Okay. And then you'll come to know. In fact, today evening, not today, I'm not there. So tomorrow we are going to do for the Hindi ones on the different meditation. And then later I will be taking the same sutta, Asi Visopama Sutta. Comfort, no. You covered 4 of them. The one last one. Let's see. Shining, no. Yes, that's correct. Bobby, at last you found it. I think, I don't know, from Sutta or whatever. It is good. Yes, Jara is part of that.
Yes, from the Sutta. Yes, from the Sutta.
I got it. At the moment you put that, I knew that you're taken from the Sutta. That's
Yeah.
correct. Jarata. That's a major thing. Only through Tejo, the aging happens, not through anything else. If you're getting aged because of the Tejo Dhatu, it burns off the age, or it rather makes it aging than stopping aging. So only Dhatu which will assess or assist in aging of anything is Tejo. Whether it's house or road or car or human or mud or trees or whatever. The aging is happening or maturation is happening due to Tejo Dhatu. That's it. Over 5 of them.
Ulasi, just now you told about another sutta which you read. What is the name of that sutta?
Asi Visopama Sutta. Good. So we are done with Tejo of what it consists of. Right? So we have seen it completely. So aging, if you were 1 year old, you had a first year birthday. What it means is that you are completely destroyed in that 1 year. You got the point? Meaning there is nothing left. So if you're saying 1 day gone, like the day turning into night, it means no residue is there. There's nothing left. It's completely burnt out. Are you able to see it in that way? It's complete burning off. Minute by minute, we can even say second by second, breath by breath, you're burnt off, meaning you're aged. That's the power of Ojas or Tejodhatu. You can reduce aging, but you can't stop aging. Yes, sir.
Is it because fire make things react faster? Is that the right way to see it?
That's the quality of the dhatu. Maturation is the quality of that dhatu. Just like giving life is part of apodhatu, taking it off, meaning maturation, is part of tejodhatu. And that's a quality. That's it. Nothing that we can do to change it. That's the quality of that dhatu. That's a nature. Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's why we put things in the freezer.
A freezer also has heat. It
Yeah.
slows down, but you can't make it not to decay.
Yeah. I'm trying to understand because you reduce heat, you reduce aging.
Yes. So you can reduce the warmth or the maturation by reducing the, if you can put it like atoms, they have entropy. So you give extra thing to have enthalpy. So on the thermodynamics is all about heat actually. Thermal is heat. Dynamics of thermal is what? First law of thermodynamics. matter can never be created nor destroyed, and energy can never be created nor destroyed. But you can change the shape of the matter and you can pass the energy. But then it gets cooled down by itself. It's called entropy if you have studied in science. Okay, entropy. That means it goes towards colding. Cold means losing its warmth. So you need to heat it up if you were to maintain an ideal temperature. Otherwise, by nature, it cools down. That means it decays. So you have to have enthalpy to keep the atoms in shape. It means you have to give external heat to make it stay. Otherwise, they will dissipate. So all the four dhatus are supposed to be dissipating all the time. Only by having this consciousness, it's held together. And that's what happens when somebody goes to a Vipassana retreat of Goenka or Ubakin, that he will see it as Kalapa because that is what it is. So it's vibration that holds on to these, which is nothing but consciousness. Right? And that is a reason you don't understand what is happening. That's how we can see it, honestly speaking. So somebody knowing entropy, enthalpy, and four laws of thermodynamics becomes easy for him to understand heat or Tejo Dhatu, basically, what it does. Any questions from anyone? Yes, Shreyas.
So Tejo Dhatu also is involved in the nourishment of life, right? So at what point does it become Jara, or like is it Jara from the very beginning?
As soon as it is coming together, it will dissipate. That is Jara.
Okay, so then how do we explain the nourishment part of it? Because only with Apo Dhatu, life cannot be there, right? Like there also needs to be Tejo Dhatu there for life to happen.
It also requires Pathavi Dhatu, some solid
Right.
foundation. So you require
Correct.
Apo. But the thing is like this, I think most of you are not getting what it is said or what really you experience. Without water, you can't survive. But then I'm not saying that you can independently survive without heat because there is no nourishment.
Right.
So the heat is nourishing. So what is life? It says Ayu, Usma, Vinyana.
Mm-hmm.
Ayu is life.
Right.
That's a battery. For
Correct,
that,
correct.
you require Usma, Prana. And what does Prana consist? Of Tejas,
Yeah.
Tejo.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's all what we have. And Vinyana is the mind. Right? So if you look at Mahavedala Sutta, these are the three things: Ayu, Usma, Vinyana. What
Right.
we are talking right now is Usma, warmth.
Yeah.
So if it maintains a particular temperature, the life can stay.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
So the what we are calling as nutrition or nourishment, all of that is part of it, of that Usma.
Right. Right. Got it.
So if there is a change in Usma, that body disintegrates instantaneously.
Right.
The integration is what? Is enthalpy.
Yes. You add more to the system.
Yes. So you have to maintain it. When I say maintaining it, I'm adding, like I'm
Correct.
having food and that adds to already depleted one. So
Yes.
it makes
Okay.
seems as though it is nourished.
Right.
Right. So that's how you bring in, right? So you take
Correct.
you take hydrogen and you take helium, lithium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, fluorine, argon, xenon, krypton, like that. So if you have seen the periodic table, okay,
Yes.
what is the lightest element?
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen, correct. And what is the heaviest element?
I want to say oxygen,
But have you studied the periodic table?
yeah, it's been a long time.
So when we see okay, what are the natural elements?
You have silicon, nickel, copper.
Right. And then hydrogen, oxygen,
All the noble gases, all
yeah,
the
fluorine,
fluorine,
carbon,
bromine, chlorine,
carbon,
iodine.
yes, iodine, like that. So what
Right.
is the commonality in that? Is that the usma holds on to it. There is warmth,
Right.
right? So it makes the atoms stay together.
Right.
Correct. So now if I take NaCl2, Na means what is Na? Sodium. Sodium chloride, right?
Right.
So there are two atoms.
Yes.
So there is binding.
Yes.
I don't know how many of you are interested in chemistry. So then we have to go to physics and chemistry now. For
inorganic chemistry.
you have to go to inorganic chemistry and then see how this works. I think most of them would have forgotten or they don't even know what we are trying to accomplish. So if you keep atoms together, how does atom come together? Can the atoms come together?
Not really.
No. It comes together due to energy.
Yes.
And energy is Tejo.
Correct.
Right. So the energy provider is Tejo. So the Tejo Dhatu is there in every space, right?
Yeah.
So just like Pathavi is there, Apo is there, Tejo is there, Vayu is there in Akasha.
Right. Yeah.
So the Akasha has nothing. It's just an empty space. Under that, the Vayu takes over. Right? And if Vayu has to stay together, the Tejo has to be there. Otherwise, it can't, it just moves, but there's some friction. So the friction point is Tejo.
Tejo, yeah.
But you should have Apo also. And you should have Patvi. So all of this coming together is what we call as Dhatu. Okay. If something has to be in motion, like, the atoms are going like this. So when a person is doing Vipassana, or looking at the sensation, is actually going through these vibrations. It's a basic vibration, called by whatever name, but that's basic vibration. It's just vibration. And what is it vibrating? The atoms are vibrating. What else are vibrating there? So it has got molecular. So it has these many molecules make up that atom. So if they were to stick together, it has to stick together due to some force.
Correct.
And you require thermodynamics for that. Otherwise, nothing can stick together. So it's actually spread out. So it comes together and the heat will hold on. And again, it dissipates. Then you bring it together. Then it dissipates. Then it comes together. So if we were to heat up, like somebody had put cooking, I think one of them put cooking. I think Bobby put cooking. I didn't answer because this is binding. Water is binding source and Tejo is spreading. It binds, it spreads and binds and spreads and binds and spreads. And that's the reason it's called a kinetic law of motion. It literally creates kinetic. There's friction.
Right. Yeah.
And when there is friction, there is movement. So if I take an engine, like I can take a steam engine or I take some other engine. There's a piston, and inside that piston there is corks which keeps on rubbing. So, like if I take a spark plug, there should be a spark coming out of that, and it runs. So, what makes it run? It keeps on pushing the photons one after the other. Okay, so when we say Tejo, it means photons, light particles. So when there is light particles, it what does it do? It's particle. It goes in one's way only. There's no two-way motion. It's only one-way motion. Keeps on moving like this, one after the other, and burning and again going off, again burning, going off. So it just keeps on lighting itself. And that's what is happening. So the neurons are the best way to understand this firing mechanism. So then it comes together, but to separate out again, so it separates out. So in each element, if you take hydrogen, helium, He, lithium, then
Beryllium.
beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, argon, krypton, like that. If you keep on going, 118 elements, if you were to go through it, then you will see each element has its own property, isotopes.
Correct.
Right? So isotopic property, when you look at isotopes, you know how these are coming and how they are going off. So then you know the binding. Sorry for those people who are not well versed in the basic science, but that is required to understand Tejo. If you have forgotten all that you learned in your schools, good to open it up and read once. Or if you are taken it only for a examination.
It's a good revision, sir.
I think another nice way to understand Tejo would be the conduction, convection, and radiation
Yes.
forms of heat transmission.
Yes. So now we go to the second law of thermodynamics. What it means, the entropy of any system, of any isolated system, always increases over time. So heat not naturally will start flowing from a hot object to a cold object and not the other way around, because the photons move in only one direction. It doesn't move in another direction. So the entropy is a measure of disorderliness, or rather, all atoms are disordered. And all human beings and all the beings are disordered. You require something to be kept as an observer to be ordered, right? So if you have a police, then you drive peacefully at that space. Otherwise, you will do something, right? So you require an indicator to indicate I'm turning right, I'm turning left, because you're keeping it in order. But atoms, by its own nature, are disordered. If you didn't know that, right? So the heat flow spontaneously from a hot temperature or high temperature to low temperature, because by nature, the binding is removed all the time. So to maintain heat, you require a binding source, and the binding source is Apo, which is cold. So it just makes it cold. So you heat it up, again it turns cold. Again you heat it up, it turns cold. Have you ever not seen coffee or tea or anything getting cold? Because by nature, it's meant to be cold. So by nature, you are not supposed to live if you didn't know that. So you have to add something to live, right? And that's Apo plus Tejo plus Patavi plus all of that. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. If you don't have this, you can't live. There's no life. Instantaneously removed, because they have to bind and they have to move. So you can't make it reversible. It's irreversible. So you age in one direction only. That is entropy. Aryu, you don't have to search on the net for now. Just leave it the way it is. That's not going to help you on now looking at entropy and enthalpy when I'm myself explaining that to you. After this,
Not doing that. Not doing that.
yeah, please. I know you have the habit of searching it. Don't do that. Anyway, I'm saying what is there. So you don't have to again reinvent the wheel. Maybe after we finish to learn more, you can do that. But have you studied law of thermodynamics? Yeah, okay. So what's the third law? So what happens here as a system, okay, the heat dissipates and comes to absolute zero Kelvin, okay? The entropy uh, is coming at a constant minimum value. Okay, then if you want to retain it, you have to add heat to it. Okay, so there is no molecular motion otherwise because it becomes ordered. So you need to add heat to get it ordered back again because otherwise it is unordered. So if you want to make it ordered, you have to heat it. You have to bring back the energy. Otherwise, it'll change shape. Okay. So if you don't want it to change shape, what you should do? Keep on adding heat. But if you keep on adding more heat, it will change the shape even more. So it has to bring it on optimal. And then it seems that the system seems to be stable, which is not. That's the reason we age.
I was thinking with aging, like that's why you put even food in your freezer so that it doesn't deteriorate, I
Yes,
guess.
exactly. Exactly. Because by nature, it's supposed to lose shape.
So putting it in the freezer, like May said, it looks like the aging of the food has stopped, but it's not stopped. It's just slowed down. That's all.
Yeah. So what you do is you bring a particular temperature, let's say 20 degrees centigrade or 18 degrees centigrade, or make it minus centigrades. So the moment it's frozen means the atoms are held like this and they're shaking. They no longer are able to dissipate, right? If you're no longer able to dissipate, you require more heat to hold on to it, right? Even though it is cold, but you are passing heat. You're heating the system up so much that it holds to a particular temperature. Then the shaking is like this. So when it is shaking like this, atoms keep on dropping, not at the same frequency, at a reduced frequency. So when there is a reduced frequency, now we can measure the frequency and say that, okay, atoms are dropping at this frequency. And when it reduces at this frequency, the aging is little bit altered because atoms dropping means the aging has happened. Atoms not dropping means the aging is not happened. So it seems as though the aging is stopped. But you can't stop aging. Meaning you can delay the aging maybe by 2 minutes more. What is the fundamental aging in all animals and humans? Can you guess? How do you age?
The skin shedding.
There's a way
You mean?
you can stop aging. Yes, somebody said something. Yeah, me.
Sorry, I was going to say, do you mean telomeres or do you mean wrinkling?
No,
Yeah.
hibernation.
What?
Hibernation. Hibernation.
Hibernation, yes, but how do you hibernate?
Going to deep sleep forever.
How do you go to deep sleep?
I don't know.
Stop the breath. That is kinetic. Breath is kinetic
Oh, yeah.
energy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you have to stop it. If you stop breathing or you reduce breathing, your aging stops because you're constantly in motion. So the motion is stopped. And that's an important thing for us to watch the breath.
Yeah. That actually makes sense.
So if you don't watch breath, you don't know what's happening.
True.
And you're adding what? Entropy by breathing. You're losing. Every object seen, heard, smell, tasted, touched, thought will take energy. And hence, Buddha says Indriya Samvara is the major thing you need to do. After Sila. Yes, Poppy.
Yeah, I think this, when you look at the animals, those who breathe fast have a lower age. The
Yes, like
aging,
dogs. Like
yeah,
dogs.
dog. And who breathe, slowly has a higher age span.
Yes. Like there's a particular frog which can live for hundreds of years because they can hibernate. So those people who are able to watch their breath for 18 hours, a good motivation point that it is required to lower aging. Your ayu majorly, like if you have a mobile phone or a computer, it's a number of cycles of charging. The battery dies out. In the same way, the number of breath kills you. Nothing else kills. The breath kills you. You're born with breath, you'll die with breath. That's it. So, if somebody is not looking at their breath, they don't know what they are losing. You're putting your energy in wrong thing because it is entropy. Please remember, it's entropy. It's not enthalpy. It's entropy. You will never get it back. It just goes away. By nature, it's designed to disaster. Okay? By nature. All the four elements, they don't stay together. And the Vijnana is the one which is holding on to Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. Who says so? Vijnanam, Anidasanam, Anantam, Sabbatopabham. Yatha Patavi, cha Apo, cha Tejo, cha Vayo, na Gadati, remove the na, Gadati, it is holding on to. But if you really see, the Vijnana can drop off these four, which is what it does. When the death comes, the Vijnana moves out, saying goodbye to that body which it was staying. Nice one. See, Bobby, out of a huge 3-hour movie, you've just seen a trailer and you're making your assumption on that trailer. And that's what it is, the long lifespan. You don't know when that next being which comes, right? What short, what long they will have. Generally, Bobby, for you and for me or for anyone, if somebody is popular for good reason or for bad reason, he's using away his punya if he's not careful. Because the more popularity and the more the money or power or whatever it is, it means that he has come to the top of his punya. It means he's using it. Just like I go to Las Vegas with $1 million and just to burn it off. I don't know when, but that is how it is. As I go there and start playing, I might win some money, I might lose some money, win some money, lose some money. At the end of it, I lose all $1 million. Then I'm homeless in the same place where I was playing. It's the same. So when we see the trailer, we see that, oh, this person is doing very well. He's such a bad person, but he stays so long. Long in what?
So
100 years?
is that means that they have watched their breath in previous lives? Because
No. They would have done a lot of things to get there, Bobby. It's not about just watching the breath. They have done many things. It's just like, somebody doesn't know and throwing off things that it is so, uh, precious. Not only watching the breath, he would have done a lot of good deeds to get there in the first place, including watching the breath. Yes, he would have done that. And in this life, he has forgotten all about it. So he just lavishly does all nonsense things just to go back to the lowest realm. That's the reason you have to get into see through compassion. When you really see what's happening, there's no gain, it's losing. Just take example Steve Jobs. How much he struggled. He brought a company which is today supposed to be the most powerful other than Google. Right? Will it be like that? And the answer is no. They have to keep on innovating. So now they come with iPhone 17, 18, 19, 20, like that. They keep on coming with some same toys. And after a while, no child is interested in that toy. So it throws it, then it's gone. And then the Steve Jobs, vision. Now today, Steve Jobs is not there anyway. So no matter how much he put his punya, and in fact, he had come to India to learn meditation, if you didn't know that. Do you know he had come to the Haridwar and Rishikesh to learn meditation? Don't know? Okay.
I think like he came to India and he was visiting all these ISKCON temples when he
Yes.
was child, and also he was gone to Japan or something to learn this Zen meditation.
Zen
Yeah.
meditation. Yes, that's correct. So he did all of that. So some impressions were there, so he started looking at it, right? And his speech in Stanford, where he realized he's going to die. Look here to his speech. He changes his tone to spiritual.
Actually, at some stage, he was going to become a monk.
Yes.
And his teacher told in Japan, he had some kind of other goals, other achievements can happen, because before that, he was not even into Apple and all. So he was in Japan. So that's what I read somewhere.
Yeah, yes, correct. So if he has made punya, merits out of this, he will again be reborn as some tycoon. So it's simple, Bobby. You bring with certain things. It's up to you how you use it up. And you waste it, you lose it anyway. and everything is dependent on Patvi, Apo, Tejo. Right? Present we have dealt with 3 of them. And tomorrow we don't have to take Tejo again because not much in Tejo, but lot of things in Vayu. Okay, so I'm done then. Unless you have any questions. You mean materialistic achievement is harmful? Not, you can have matter, but I don't know what should I answer to it. It's like you bring in something with you, okay? You bet it, you lose it, or you gain it, but you have to keep it here only and leave, right? So unless we have a good amount of punya for the next, it's just like preparing food for the next life. If you don't have it, then what happens? You lose it. So you have to keep on the same principle of entropy and enthalpy, right? So it keeps on diminishing, it keeps on aging away. And then you need to keep on adding to it. Otherwise, you can't, right? So now you are eaten. Hunger will happen in next 4 hours because it's gone. It's by nature designed to destroy. If you want to maintain a particular state, you have to keep on adding it up. You understand? The punya also, you have to keep on adding it up. So I'm not saying materialistic is bad. To get the material thing, you need to work for it. So that is what you need to know. You can't just get it just by wishing it. Yes, Shreyas.
So about the breath thing, I remembered about the tortoises and the turtles. So they live up to, like 250, 300 years at a stretch, right? So I was just wondering how much they breathe. And I found somewhere on the internet that they have 4 breaths per minute, which is why they are able to prolong whatever lifespan they have for such a length. But usually, if we time ours and all, right? So especially mine, I think it'll go up to 15 or something per minute, 15 or 16 per minute, or even more at times. So that is, we
See,
can
that's
actually
what.
make it that make out the difference.
Average is 15 to 20, okay, 15 per minute. And then during stressful situation, it goes to 50, 50. That's called panting. So you are now you're panting for breath, or you're trying to get breath because you don't get oxygen, right? So during the stressful situation, so if somebody is breathing 50, 60 in a minute, his lifespan reduces, the battery drains off, right? So IU is down because you have used the number of cycles, just like a battery, normal battery, right? So if you keep on charging it, then the battery will go away. So because there is drain. So the objective here, Shreyas, to get into Arupa Jhana, your breath should be 3 or 4 a minute. Then your aging is also slow because there is no requirement for using it for anything. There's no digestion thing to be done. There is no assimilation thing to be done. Nothing is required. So then you will not have excretory things. So then there's no kidney strain. The kidney is literally dry, right? And there's no stools, meaning you don't have to go to the toilet. So let's say this Sunday, I were to get into that, bring it to 3 or 4 a minute. I don't have to get up for hunger. I don't have to get up for going to the toilet or for washroom or whatever. Just sit in that seat for 16 hours. And when she says, "Welcome to San Francisco," I open my eyes. Ah, okay. Good. The entire journey was never made. Yes, Ariu.
Yeah, I think earlier you were also saying about 1 minute every 5 minutes and what that corresponds to, like Nibbana.
No, if you cut off the six senses, you are in Nibbana because there is whatever is required to maintain, only that much is taken, the breath. So you will have 3 or 4 breaths in a minute, Ariu. Even 2 breaths a minute. Yes.
But I thought you said something like 12 breath in an hour, something like
Yes,
that.
you can have 12 breath. I'm just giving you a thing. If you slow it down, you hardly breathe in some of it. See, you have seen it. You can also observe. If you keep on meditating or just watching the breath, suddenly there is one deep breath you take by automatic. It's not that you wanted to take a deep breath. And after that, there's no breath for long time. If you are not looking at a mobile phone or anything and it just blanked out, okay, there won't be any breath. Like right now, there is breath because I'm talking. If I stop, I shouldn't be holding breath or anything. After some time, the breath stops. It's just so subtle that you will not have any high breath rate. So the heartbeat comes down to something like 41, 39, 38, 36. 36 means it is beating at just to maintain life. See, at present, as I speak, it is showing 64 right now. In a normal person, if he's talking and doing like this, it will be in 90s. Mine is showing 64. And morning from 12 to around 4 o'clock, it's a range of 46. So my heart rate is pretty low. Yes.
Yeah, I think in the past you said the heart aging is one of the primary factors of a person aging, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm wondering how that relates to Tejo in this case, in how exactly
No,
is the
Tejo is for the entire thing. So if it is beating less, it means it is retaining energy. If it is beating more, means it is not able to retain energy. So the entropy is happening more and more, right? It is going towards cold. Yes.
Yeah, I guess every time that was said, I also thought about that people need exercise also, which I guess take in, life energy in different way. I guess there's a balance you require.
You require that breathing to maintain life. And you don't require this cortisol related breathing to lose life. So let's say you go on a jog. So you might be breathing, but that's the only physical act of breathing. You're not losing energy. You got the point. When you're seeing something, hearing something, tasting something, touching something, thinking something, you lose energy. There is a physical act of breathing. That's not an issue. Just like there's a physical act of urinating, there's no issue. But if you lose energy along with breath, and then you have issue. Just prana. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think earlier I heard that these people who run for very long distances, like 20K, they have a fairly short span. I guess too much strain on all systems of the body, despite of this aspect.
No, it's called as athletic heartbeat. What it happens is they have endurance. I didn't speak about endurance. So if you have endurance, your breathing is not much, meaning there's no loss of energy. yes, they will get all their system, other system like muscles and bones getting more destroyed because they are doing that. That's correct. But if you take their cardio, it's highly fitness because they lose less energy. Okay, so shall we end for the day? Bye bye, good night, and good afternoon, and good day.